Welcome to Becoming Limitless. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to optimize their brain and their body with biohacking. I'm going to teach you how to eliminate brain fog and upgrade your health so you can have more productivity, energy, and growth in your business. I'm your host, Tanessa Shears. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Becoming Limitless podcast. I'm recording an impromptu episode because the universe heard me last week. If you listened to last week's episode of the podcast, I released Fitbit versus Oura head-to-head based on my experience wearing both devices for multiple years and working with clients with both devices. And I gotta say, one of the biggest complaints that I have had about Oura Ring is how inaccurate I felt their sleep data was despite them being a sleep device. So if you have listened to last week's episode, this will make sense. If you haven't, go back and listen to it first. So basically, whenever I would get my data from my Oura Ring and I would look at it, it would say, yeah, you got like 45-50% of your night in deep sleep. And I would wake up during the night, like times I knew I was awake because I went to check on my baby, and Oura wouldn't even register them. And so I was like, not a fan. Fitbit has numbers that are a lot more in the realm of realistic. Like, for example, if the average human gets 15 to 20% of their night in deep sleep, but it was saying I was getting 45 to 50%, something's wrong, right? So anyways, I ranted about that on last week's podcast a little bit, and I put it out into the universe, and lo and behold, they did a sleep algorithm update, which just released yesterday. And I gotta say, Oura might be edging out Fitbit now. So right now, as of this recording, I'm recording this December 12th, 2022. It says the new sleep staging beta is based on a state-of-the-art algorithm that has been created and verified in collaboration with several research institutes globally. The enhanced sensitivity will match Oura's sleep staging with sleep lab accuracy. So what actually, it's so interesting. It says the biggest difference that you're going to notice is more awake time and more REM time, less time in light sleep and less time in deep sleep, which pretty much solves all my problems that I had with Oura. And I was like, this is really cool. So I don't know what the future will hold as far as the Oura dashboard, but when I'm on my phone logged in right now, you are able to actually toggle back and forth between the numbers on the current algorithm and the old algorithm. So I'm just going to give you a bit of an idea. And by the way, I woke up this morning to my highest sleep score to date. I can hardly believe it. I scored a 98 Oura sleep score. I can't even get over that. I'm aiming for 100. I will get it one day, but 98, that's pretty close. So, okay, so let's go back just so that you can see the differences, or hear the differences rather, between the new algorithm and the old algorithm. So the new algorithm said that I was asleep for 8 hours and 54 minutes last night. The old algorithm said 9 hours. So only a 6-minute difference there, not crazy. For both sleeps, it recorded no significant movement, tossing, turning, getting up, rolling over, anything like that, which I find is usually pretty consistent for me. I take magnesium biglycinate before bed, and that has really helped with the tossing and turning and restlessness at night. But let's talk about awake time. So with the new algorithm, it said I spent 51 minutes awake last night, and the old was 45. So slightly more time awake, and I feel like it was definitely more reflective. My daughter cried twice last night in the night, and I do remember waking up both those times, and it picked them up, which is great. New algorithm said I had 26% of my night, or 2 hours and 18 dreaming. Old algorithm 24%. So those ones are actually pretty close. As far as light sleep, this is where we start to see the difference. So the new algorithm says I spent 4 hours, 43 minutes in light sleep last night. Old algorithm, 3 hours, 33 minutes, which totally makes sense because it's taking it from everything it logged as deep sleep. So it's now saying that I'm spending more time in light sleep. The last metric we're comparing is deep sleep here. So last night, the new algorithm said I spent 21% of my night, or an hour 52 in deep, which is totally normal within ranges. But the old algorithm said 3 hours and 16 minutes, or 36% of my night. So I mean, like, old algorithm, 3 hours, 16, new algorithm, hour 52. You can see that's a massive difference. And that was one of the things that I kept sounding off was so inaccurate with that. So, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty and all that kind of stuff, like you're going to see specific changes in awake time, REM time, light time, and deep, so that are more reflective. The crazy thing is, if I hold my Fitbit values up against my Oura values, they are so much more similar now, which is also kind of cool because it validates my belief and just my observation that Fitbit was pretty good with sleep despite being a wrist tracker instead of a tracker on a ring. So like I was saying, all the sleep stages and stuff that have changed, this is in the category of sleep. I believe that it says depending on if you have a high or a low HRV, these values will shift accordingly. But I think I have to say, I still really like Fitbit for sleep. I am not taking points away from Fitbit for sleep, but I am adding points to Oura for sleep. And Oura will only win now in the sleep category because it is more accurate. One of the things I do love about Oura is when you look at like the breakdown of your sleep and it tells you like, okay, you had this much sleep, and you were scored on your efficiency, restfulness, REM, deep, latency, timing, all of these factors, and here's how much went into them, and here's where you got docked points. I love Oura for that, and now that I can compare it to Fitbit and see the numbers or data, I still think Fitbit is fantastic. If you are just jumping into the tracking world, it is more than you need. However, I have now switched my vote that sleep and Oura are gonna be the winners in this category. And if you are looking to optimize your sleep, like at that next level, you really wanna know the details, you're gonna be the biohacker that looks at like latency time for sleep, how long it takes you to fall asleep, and continuously work on optimizing that, then Oura Ring is the way you're gonna go. But I thought it was super pertinent that I hop on and do this little update with you, just because it's always about the evidence. It is always about the numbers and what they look like and not my feelings in it. And now since Oura has updated, I do want to make sure that you guys know, because if you are making the decision between Oura and Fitbit, I want you to have all of the details. So I hope that has been super helpful through this little mini episode together. And I hope let me know. Did this make your decision any easier, or did it make it harder? I'd love to hear about it. So have a fantastic week, and I will actually see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye. Learn something new in this episode or feel inspired to take action? I'd love for you to share it with a friend and leave a review. Your review will help one more entrepreneur feel healthier, more energized, and focused. If you feel good about helping a friend or a fellow business owner you've never even met, you are my kind of people. I'm excited to help you become limitless in the coming episodes.